Hey, Maurice and Odie, gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snerdy is the best podcast, gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna meet magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic, and that's the best policy. Maurice the GOAT, talking about animation, cause you know. Odie, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snerdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snerdy, ooh. Black and Snerdy, yeah. Black and Snerdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy black nerds get together to shoot the shit. I am Mo, aka Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned Snerds here on episode 168 of the Black and Snerdy podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Start of a new week, start of a new month, which is always great.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to the new year.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I could be doing better. I could really be doing better. I wish I was doing better. I'll put it that way. But overall, things could be worse. Always things could be worse. So I'm grateful and thankful that things are not worse.
And I am thankful as well. We are very thankful. This is the season to be thankful.
Yes.
The holiday season.
Yes.
And we just had Thanksgiving.
Yes, we did. Shout out to Thanksgiving. To the people celebrating Thanksgiving, not like the origin of Thanksgiving.
We don't care about the colonizers and genociders.
Yeah.
Shout out
Native
to
Americans,
all the
smallpox
indigenous folks.
Yeah.
In our families, our bloodlines around the world, because we are thankful for you, really, because we are on the land of the Lenape people, and they were stewards of the earth here then and now. And indigenous people are always trying to keep the colonizers from fucking shit up even more. So we have to be thankful for that. But during this season of just general thankfulness, because Thanksgiving, obviously the origins are terrible.
Yes, they are.
We know that there was no great welcome in with the Wampanoag folks, with the European Puritans or whatever.
If you remember the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special, Franklin was given the very shitty crickety chair while everybody else had nicer chairs.
They did.
So that
doesn't matter. He was on the other side of the table all by himself.
Yes, he was.
If you remember,
he was on the other side of the table by himself. So that, in a nutshell, is probably the origins of Thanksgiving.
Just black and brown folks being
shortchanged
to the side, shortchanged, and generally not treated well. So,
are you looking for Franklin's Thanksgiving?
I am looking for Franklin's Thanksgiving picture.
Yes,
so that we can have a visual representation of the world then and now.
Yeah.
So yes, we see this is America and the world.
Of course, the dog gets a chair.
The dog's always gonna get a chair. No.
Our device. Oh my God. Our device was asking if we were talking to her.
Just like a fucking colonizer. Always thinking something's about you. But anyway, as you can see, Franklin is here on his rickety little wooden chair, while everybody else has a lovely chair around them.
Even the lesbians have really nice chairs. But he has this weird folded out beach chair. Isn't it a beach chair?
It looks like a beach chair.
Or it's either a beach chair or one of those patio chairs.
Yeah, like a beach or patio chair, definitely. And funny enough, also, well, not funny enough, but ironically, the woman who's always being mean and rude, the girl who's always been mean and rude to Charlie Brown, sitting right next to him. Nice chair. Looks real comfortable.
Which one?
The
Because
one,
the blonde is his sister. She's not the mean one.
oh wait, who's the mean one?
You're thinking of Lucy.
Oh, Lucy. I guess
the
she's not there.
therapist.
Ah, yes, you're right.
She's not even there.
I stand
That's
corrected.
the only justice to this
Yeah.
is that she was not invited to Thanksgiving.
Karen's out of Thanksgiving. She was a creep. She was a creep and a Karen.
Yes, she was.
So keep Karen's out of Thanksgiving. But if you do have to be around them around the dinner table, call them out. Call them out on their bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want us to, before we jump into the episode for real, I wanted us to give some things we're thankful for.
Frizzle.
For
real. For
Rizzle.
Yes.
So we could do a popcorn back and forth. Right?
Is that what it's called? A popcorn?
Yeah, like when you popcorn something, it's like you say something and you tell someone else to start saying it.
Yeah.
But there's only two of us, so
yeah, we can play catch.
Yeah, exactly.
We can go back and forth.
So
back and forth. Back. That's not one of the songs that it is.
It is.
He did. Oh, man.
Probably that was the time she was on the label.
Let me double check.
Well, I'll kick it off while you are doing that.
Yeah.
One thing that I am thankful for is that we are almost at 200 episodes of this podcast.
Yes.
We started the podcast. Well, we started the initial idea 2020 around, maybe it was like, I don't know, around this time in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
In January 2021, we recorded our first episode.
Yes.
I think it didn't go. We recorded a bunch of episodes before they officially came out.
It was a trial and error sort of thing.
Yeah, like a midway through.
He was the composer and the lyricist and the mixing engineer and the producer.
Told you. Yeah, so we're close to 200 episodes, about 32 away. And I'm really thankful about that because I have been wanting to do a podcast for years. I had started my own, but just it was difficult for me to get people, have it done consistently, editing, et cetera, et cetera.
And I had been doing several podcasts for years that are now lost to the ether.
Mm-hmm.
I did one with my best friend Sam. I actually did a couple because we did Working Title.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Listen to This podcast because Working Title started out with me, him, and another of our friends, Galen. Shout out to him. I hope he's doing well with his family.
Is he the one that was at the...
No, you've never met Galen before. But he was a bartender. He wasn't a comedian. He was more of a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's in Jersey now.
Okay.
Last I checked. I'll have to reach out to him to see what's going on with him. And then so it was the Listen to the Spot. No, it was the Working Title podcast. Then Listen to This podcast. Then Squashing Beef.
Yeah,
again,
I used to listen to that one.
Again with Sam. And then there was our group Dungeons and Dragons podcast that we did with Lawson and Jared and Alex. And oh no, I am blank. Amy Bellancini. Oh, that was close. I didn't want to call her
something else.
Well, I didn't want to call her John's wife because
she's
John Bellancini's wife. She's more than that. But yeah, so I had a bunch of podcasts and podcasting experience under my belt, and we decided to collaborate and put this together, and we've been doing it ever since, going strong consecutively
and consistently, which is great.
Yeah.
What's something you're thankful for?
What did you say you were thankful for?
The podcast.
Oh, you're thankful for the podcast. I am also thankful for the podcast, but I am thankful for you, the human being.
Thank you.
Because you are a supportive ray of light and sunshine and fluorescence.
I'm fluorescent.
Yes, you are fluorescent.
I'm glowing.
Yes.
I make your world glow.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, sure. You make my world glow. You make my soul glow.
Just let your soul glow.
Now, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful for supportive friends and family.
Sure.
Who I can always count on. You being one of those key people for sure.
Sure.
I think that having people in your corner who are there to support you, lift you up, love on you is really important, and it's something that I don't think anyone can take for granted. I think that I feel very fortunate that I have a very large group of friends, a large family, and that is really special to me. Like anytime anyone's ever been, if you've been to an eBay affair, you know that we are loud and proud and always getting down.
Yes, and I have been to several at this point.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that. They are very loud and very proud. And,
like to get down.
I would say it's either a seesaw or a pendulum that swings, where it goes, and it mostly swings in the direction of loud.
Yeah.
Sometimes teetering. Yeah, maybe a teeter-totter, I would say.
Teeter-totter, yeah.
Yeah, maybe sometimes teetering into other territory.
You wouldn't be a family without it.
Yeah. So, my family is kind of the same.
Yeah.
Although I think over the years we've maybe chilled out for the most part. I would say specifically me and my dad.
Yeah.
Me and my dad used to have this running joke that no matter, it doesn't matter who it is, somebody named Maurice Licorish is going to ruin Thanksgiving.
Well, I think
with a comment or a yelling or being too fun or being too much.
Never too much.
I think we're tied. 4-4.
I think that one thing that I really appreciate about my family,
as far as ruining Thanksgiving, 4-4,
and something that I know if you ever spend time with my family, that you're like, oh, I see why she is how she is. Is that like, as much as we can be loud, we can debate, we can do all these things, but like that I feel like is integral to life, being able to have differing opinions, talk about them. Maybe sometimes you're yelling, and it's not always angry. You're not. The thing is, so as many of you know, I am Black American on my mother's side, and I am Nigerian on my father's side.
Take a shot.
And so both of those groups, loud and proud people. My mother's side, smaller, but equally loud and equally proud and equally like to get down.
I think that because they're small, they have to overcompensate with the loudness.
Probably. I think it's just general, also just in the genes. I think that like
it's in the genes and it's energy.
Yes, both. And I think that like a lot of people
sat on my balls. It's very painful.
A lot of people will ask me like, well, they'll be like, wow, you're such a great communicator. You're so wise about things. You always have all this information. And I'm like, yeah, because you cannot have a family where anything and everything could be up for debate.
Right.
And everyone has an opinion without being able to back it up.
Yeah.
And so coming from people who are like very not knowledgeable, education's important, being well informed is important, that like you can't just come in there and be a dud, like you gotta bring something to the table each and every time. You have to be prepared to not only have an opinion, but be able to back it up, be able to argue it, and have interesting debates, which is why I feel like sometimes when people have called me intimidating, it's due to the fact that like when I think something, if I feel something, if I know something, I am not afraid to say it, be direct. I don't think I'm saying it with malice or anger, but a lot of people are not used to that. Like a lot of people grow up in households where You don't discuss anything. Everything's kind of swept under the rug, and you basically are just kind of there. And that's just not my family, and that's just not me. And I really thankful for that, because as like being a woman, being a Black woman in America, I don't think it is feasible for you to be able to walk through life without being able to have like some sort of strength about you. And even though, like, you know, when people might see me, I'm like smiling and cute and giggly and all that, and like I'm short, so it's like, oh, she's so adorable. And then I open my mouth and I'm like, wow, like I thought you were 6 feet tall. Because I just don't walk around feeling intimidated by others. So yeah, that's something I'm really thankful for.
That's great. I weirdly enough, kind of springboarding off of what you're saying, I for the holiday season, I am thankful for being a male, being a man, guy, person, creature. Because I have the option of being able to keep my opinions to myself. Like, I can choose whether or not I want to be out loud and proud with boisterous opinions that could be different from others and just stand in it, or I could be silent. Or
just got.
Yes, I could just got this thing and just be silent. Or I can do what I like to do is to just be like, not necessarily agree, but disarming with you know, conversations. Like if I don't care to get super into it, like not necessarily being dismissive, but I will say something along the lines of, you know what? I see your point, or I think I see where it's coming from. I can see what you're saying. Makes sense to me. Like something like that. And that is a gift, because as somebody who in my 20s, I was very boisterous when it came to my opinions, got me into a lot of trouble. And as I got older, I moved away from that sort of personality trait of being the loud, brash, boisterous version of myself. And instead, I like to listen to all points of views and listen to all opinions and listen to all, like, you know, sides. Or not all sides. There are some sides I just won't listen to because it's stupid. But I'll listen to enough sides, and then if I feel like I need to get into it, I will get into it. But otherwise, if I feel like it's just not, if either doesn't move me, doesn't interest me, doesn't or whatever, I will just kind of go right down the middle with a phrase that either shuts the shit down or makes it seem like everything is copacetic. You know, like saying, I see your point.
I mean, okay.
I see your point.
So I will say, like, I understand what you're saying. But I would say,
by the way, this is something I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
You have a rebuttal to something I'm thankful for?
No, I'm adding to it.
Okay.
Adding to it. So I would say that if you were like, my family would appreciate those things about you that you felt like you need to tone down.
Wait, say that again. Your family would appreciate the things that I've toned down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you'd be
being sure about that?
Yeah, being your full self. Because the thing is, like, one, like I said, I have a big family.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always...
So chances are there's you throw a dart and there's probably somebody who probably believes the same thing that I believe.
That's not about you believing. It's about having the ability,
or feels how I feel, or has the same opinion.
Having the conviction and the ability to say, like, I'm gonna say whatever I think, and I really don't care necessarily like that you might take umbrage with it. It's just, this is how I feel, and we could talk about it and debate about it, and probably, hopefully, we come to some sort of understanding of one another, even if that understanding does not equate to like me changing my mind. Because I think that those things about you, of course, obviously, we tailor ourselves to those around us, but I think those things about you that you have like hidden inside yourself are cool things, and things that I appreciated about you when I first met you, because when we met, you were in your 20s, and so I saw all those things and I liked them. So I think those are not things, even though like it's understandable to be thankful that you can change and do things differently, I think there's also merit to being your full self.
That's fair. But as sorry, it just dawned on me. I think that's actually I didn't mean it that way, but that's actually one of the phrases that I would use too. That's fair. I didn't mean it that way though. But as I that's fair, and I appreciate that. As somebody who has lived in my skin and has been my full self, there was a period where I would be nothing but my full self. Even I get tired of my full self. Even I grow weary with my full self and being my full self 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, it's a lot. And because I get tired of myself a lot like that, like, and not just because I get tired of myself a lot, I've been told that I'm a lot, and by people who are both in my life and no longer in my life. I've been like, you know what? Message received, other people and also my own self. Let me regulate this shit. And so I do. And I personally don't think there's nothing wrong. I personally don't think there's something wrong with that. I can bring out my full self whenever I want, whenever I choose. I'm not afraid of doing that. I'm not afraid of being my unabashed self. I just pick my spots. I'll put it that way.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me pick one more thing.
Yeah, one more thing that we're thankful for.
I'm thankful for gainful employment. Even though sometimes it's difficult.
Wish I could say the same thing.
I really appreciate the people that I work with. Being a teacher is not easy by any means.
Teaching ain't easy.
So having people who you work with who are like supportive and helpful and like really, and really kind of committed to being there for you, like I think that's really great. And like I always joke that like I feel like I'm working at Abbott Elementary, except for having my principal is a complete opposite of what's her name, Ava, because she's like super productive and super like someone you'd be like, yeah, I would love to be like that as like a person, worker, whatever. So yeah, I think this is like key. Getting to work in also a very Black space where majority of the people I work with are Black, and the people who are not are like also real cool. Like they know that the people, the kids that they're serving are coming from a specific place. They appreciate the differences and they understand the challenges they may be coming from, whether it's due to differences in race, economic status, immigration status, et cetera, like whatever it could be. having really like being really mindful about that, and that's something I appreciate because working in corporate America, that is just not the case. A lot of the times, even if you're working at Black-owned companies, that's just not always the case because sometimes it's the capitalism over everything. So yeah, that's the last thing for me.
Okay, and the last thing for me is my Actually, I was spending this time trying to think of something that I'm thankful for. I guess I am thankful for my health. Not necessarily my mental health, but I will say that I am thankful for my health in general. I don't have any broken bones. I don't have any broken ligaments. I don't have any diseases. You know, I have an ass. Like I don't. I just watched the King of the Hill episode where he had a diminished glute syndrome or something like that.
He had to wear that prosthetic ass.
Yes, he had to wear the prosthetic ass. Shout out to Hank Hill, our flat ass king. Fucking just a line.
Couldn't sit. He could not sit.
Long back.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm.
Oh, I should have said that. I should have had that this entire time.
Thankful. We are thankful.
We are thankful.
And I would say that I would challenge everyone to think about the ways that you are thankful, both in the big and small things. You know, I think like.
Oh, cool. Sorry, I didn't realize that there's this. They have a timer on it now.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. Cool. Can you adjust the timer? Yes, you can.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, cool.
For that.
Yeah.
But I think that we a lot of the times, like when we are thinking about our life, our day-to-day, etc., it's very easy to focus on the negative. You know, I don't have enough money. I don't look the way that I want to look. I'm not living where I want to live, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But one thing that I try to say to myself in times when I'm facing difficulty, just even if I'm just annoyed that I have to like get up, right? Like I'll get up and I'll get in the shower and I just say like, you know, thank you for waking me up. Thank you for protecting me and keeping me like coming home, leaving the house and coming home safe is something to be thankful for.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Having a wardrobe that you can change out whenever you want, how often that may be, or like, you know, change your clothes and have different things to wear.
Having a bed to sleep in. Like
having food, whether it's ramen or freaking Kobe steak. All these things, like
having clean running water.
It's something to be thankful for because there's so many people who do not have those things. You know, there's so many people who don't have friends. They don't have community. They don't have a job. They don't have health. They don't have any of these things. And I think that if we can try to remember that wealth is not only what the money you have, it's also the things and the people that you have in your life. And I do believe the more grateful you are for the mundane, the more abundance, you know, is coming to you and can come to you. Because when you're just like, oh, this is terrible, oh, I hate this, oh, I hate that, like it brings you down, it brings your energy down, you know. Because sometimes, like, you know, at my school, we have a lot of steps to climb up. It's a lot. It's like Mount Everest.
Yes, I've been to your school, and it is a lot of steps. It's ridiculous.
But one thing, like, I'll try to say to myself in the midst of climbing these steps is, like, I'm so grateful that I have the ability to climb steps. I have legs to walk. I have arms to move and hold on to this railing while I'm getting up there. Like, those things.
Your school is not ADA compliant.
It is not 100%. I wish it was. It should be, but it's not. But
no ramps, no elevators.
Nothing. Like if you do have to do anything,
I'm thankful for our building having an elevator. It is the worst elevator in the city.
It is the worst.
Have you taken it recently?
Yes, I have.
Does it still like make the noise and sort of like when it closes, like as if it's gonna trap you in there?
Because I started recording myself when I was in the elevator to see if this was gonna be a time when it was gonna like drop. Thankfully, we're in the basement. So
yeah, that's
only going from the first
another
floor.
thing to be thankful for. I would say that recently when I went up to get the mail, I didn't bring my keys with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I got up there, no problems. I went to get the mail, went back to because I have to take the elevator in order to go up one flight.
Yeah, because we don't
to
have
get the
steps
mail.
To go to the
we don't have steps to go directly upstairs. We have to go outside, go up a flight, go up a thing of steps, and then go inside.
Yeah.
So instead of that, because it's fucking cold, I just take the elevator to go up to get the mail. I go get the mail. Mail is okay. The elevator is like 3/4 of the way closed. It's stuck. Don't have my keys. Don't have my. Well, actually, I did have my phone because I texted my my super and was like, "Hey, the elevator is stuck. Can you come fix it?" And he's like, "I'm not there." And I'm like, "What good are you? What good? What is the point and the purpose of having a super if you live across town?" But luckily, somebody walked in, saw this, a resident of the building, saw that it was stuck, slapped it like the Fonz from Happy Days, and it started moving again. So I was like, never mind. Hope you're enjoying your weekend off the premises.
Per usual.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, so just be thankful. This is the holiday season. So many things are happening. So many ups and downs are gonna happen every day, regardless of what time of the year it is. But just remember to just be thankful for the times and use those good times to buffer you in times of like you're in a funk, or a bad day or a crisis or whatever the case may be. Because regardless of how terrible things might be one day, they're gonna go back to being great. Like life is always a pendulum swing.
Yes. Yes. It's almost like we should be thankful for the times we all wish for, the moments when less means so much more.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'll keep it that way because the rest of it doesn't apply.
Escapes you.
No, the rest how dare you? The rest of it I know, it just doesn't apply.
It does not. Okay, sorry. All right.
The rest of it escapes you.
Sorry.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. Are you ready to move into
About to throw this at you, but I'm gonna drink it instead.
Yeah, so you wouldn't waste alcohol.
I do not waste alcohol, which is why I cannot be on the Real Housewives of anything, because I'm never gonna.
I feel like a lot of times they're throwing water or juice. I don't feel like they're actually throwing alcohol.
Even that's still wasteful.
It is. I don't waste a beverage.
And I'm not wasting a beverage on anybody just because I don't agree or I'm shocked or I'm appalled with whatever somebody said.
No, I appreciate that. That's true.
Plus, I'm a guy. I'm a male person. If I threw a drink at somebody, the next thing that's coming at me is a fist. It's not going to be another drink. It's not drink for drink. It's not tit for tat. It's gonna be tit for whap.
Well, to be fair, even though I am a woman, I'm definitely punching you in the face if you throw a drink at me. Yeah, I probably will still throw the drink at you. But
if I throw a drink at you, you would be shocked for 5 seconds, and in that 5 seconds, I can run away.
No, I'm gonna be shocked while I'm running after you, throwing shit. I'm picking up whatever is closest and throwing it at you. Because how fucking dare you throw a beverage on me? You know how much I love the beverage. So for someone
love it so much, you got it in the face.
To waste it like that, oh, we are fighting. And also, cocktails cost way too much.
Yeah, they cost too much
for you to just be thrown on my paper.
Were we somewhere? Yeah, we were somewhere where actually a little bit surprised that at the thing that we were at this past weekend, a little bit surprised that the beers were not as expensive as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, same. They were definitely better than I expected.
I mean, the Heineken that I got was in a can. Not happy, but I think it was the same. I think it had the same volume of liquid in it.
It did.
Yeah, so I was just like, I can. And then I realized, oh, it's probably because like if somebody drops it, then it's glass. They'd have to pick that up. Then there's people dancing and grinding on glass, and that's not safe. So they have to have it in a can.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes sense to me.
All right. So do you want to move into this is our mental health corner?
I believe it is our mental health corner. We haven't done mental health in so long that I don't think it is on here, but I think it is. Welcome to the mental health section of the podcast, where we check in with each other's mental health as well as do some mental stuff sometimes. Sometimes we take quizzes and personality tests.
Pause. I'm pausing this because
as we continue with our mental health section.
All right. Well, how's your mental health been?
It could be better. I've been having dreams of working. Like, and when I say working, I mean like I'm filing papers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in meetings. I'm in conferences. I'm at a computer. I know what my subconscious is saying. It's saying I miss working.
Being at work.
Yeah.
Even though when you're at work, you're like, oh, I hate this. Is terrible.
Well, no, it wasn't specifically my old job.
Yeah.
It was just the concept of work, like being a drone in an office.
Yeah.
Because in my dream, it wasn't my old job's office or anything like that. It was just an office.
Yeah.
And even at my old job, I wasn't even in an office like that. Like maybe 10% of the time was spent being in an office in front of I was in front of a computer the entire time.
Yeah.
But like that office was like downstairs, and I would get there, maybe spend an hour, maybe an hour and a half down there, and then I'd have to go up on the floor. And then the floor is this chaotic mess of nonsense, just bullshit. And I do not miss that.
Yeah.
That I do not miss. I do not miss that specific old job that I used to do. But I have been having dreams about being at work and being in an office setting and being around coworkers, and just because like my day in day out is basically me just like being on the phone with unemployment or looking for work on my phone or my laptop,
Yeah.
and apply, check my emails, rejection, spam, even new spam that I don't even know how I got on these lists, but now fucking they're sending me all these things. So it's repetitive, and I miss at least the productive repetitiveness of work.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely see how it is affecting my mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I understand that.
So I miss working. Plus I miss feeling productive.
Well, you can feel productive in other ways though. Like our productivity.
It's not the same.
But I think that
mainly because like there's money involved. There's money tied to that.
But I think that like I think that, like, and I've said this obviously before many times, when we can be productive in one area of our life, it's going to help us be more productive in other areas, right? So when we can be like, let me get up and go and do this thing that is like super mundane, just whatever you're doing around you, whether it's reading a book, cleaning up, creating a project, or arts and crafts, whatever the case may be, then in an office setting, you're already in that mindset, or work, whatever your work is, you're already in that mindset. So you're already like fixed to do that. So I think it's like getting into the groove now, because when you are, as someone who has been fired, laid off, various, different situations where I was out of work for a while, I think when you sit in that for too long and you're only doing like the, laying on the couch, you're not like outside, you're not working out, you're not like doing all these things, your body gets used to that. Like you start to atrophy certain parts of your brain and body. And so keeping yourself in flux and in motion, it helps. So even though it's like right now, being out of work sucks for a variety of reasons, right? But I think there's also an opportunity, as they would say, to figure things out for yourself. Like, what things can you do more of just in your everyday life? And then whether that's like doing things that you enjoy outside of just like, watching TV or playing video games, because those are things that you enjoy regardless. You're going to do those. But like, what other things could it be? Could it be reading something, writing something, going and doing things that you didn't have the opportunity to do before? It doesn't, not necessarily things that might cost money, but even things that are as simple as like, going to an open mic, things that you have been wanting to do when you were working. You were like, oh, I wish I could still do these things, XYZ. And perhaps that's a way that you can add to your day. Like, what can you do to change your space? Like, make your space more interesting, different, better, whatever the case may be. I think those things help us to get a hold of the feelings of just like lethargy that come upon us and stagnation, so that when we do start doing work again in another situation, that we are still used to having, like, being active in some kind of way, right? And it helps that like you can spend time figuring out more so like, yes, applying to jobs because they're available. Cool. That's like, everyone does that, right? But maybe there are certain jobs that you should be applying for that you've never applied for before, or that you've never thought about doing before, or you didn't think you were qualified, or whatever the case may be, but that like would bring you more joy than what you've been doing in the past. And it's like a ability to figure out what things can work for you better. And so, we always, when we're working, it's always like, oh, I wish I could have a break, right? Now you have that break. So you can take the time and spend it not just like sleeping or like doing the mundane things that might happen, just being in the house, but doing things that also can bolster you up, or learning something new, or just doing something new, so that you can have something to look forward to in your days.
Okay. Yeah,
that's fair.
No, I was gonna say that makes sense. No, but I do understand where you're coming from. There's no way for me to say this stuff and not have you hear it. I've exposed my truth now.
Mhm.
So, but I I do in fact understand where you are coming from.
Mhm.
Some of it is a little bit tricky, but maybe during this downtime there is some merit to switching things up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? So maybe that's something I'll start on. Maybe I'll make a list. I used to make lists and to-do lists and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll start there.
Try to kick it up again.
Yeah. How's your mental health? We already asked you.
No, I didn't.
I thought we started with you.
No, we started with you.
Okay. How are you doing?
I think my mental health is okay, could be better. I have some frustrations about things. My motivation is not necessarily where I would like it to be. And just trying to keep myself from feeling stuck. I would say is something that I'm working on. So it's just like I feel like it's a different thing every day. I feel generally exhausted, but I think that's just the work.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of emotional labor that goes into work in general, right? Whenever you're working, you're dealing with other people, you have to do some kind of emotional labor, or without working, anytime you are doing any sort of engagement with someone else, there's an emotional labor in the way attached to it, which is tiring. And then when you lob on dealing with children, it's an extra bit of it. One of my coworkers today was like, she was annoyed at her professors because she does not think that they ever, like, she went to get her master's in education, and she was like, they always just talked about how it's such a noble profession, and you're doing all these great things and it's so important, da 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 da. But she didn't feel like they were honest when it came to this shit is fucking hard, right?
Yeah,
because you're not dealing with children. You're dealing with children, not adults. If you're a professor, there's definitely going to be emotional labor you're going to be doing. However, you are dealing with adults.
It's not the professor's job to be honest, because if they were honest, nobody would teach. Nobody would sign up for teaching.
But I think that, like,
you have to lead with the nobility of teaching.
But I think you can talk about how noble it is and how important it is, and also be clear that, like,
the reality is
it's
that
difficult.
you're going to be underpaid, underappreciated, and also deal with a bunch of fuck kids who won't sit still or stop talking or stop being annoying, like, or won't challenge you in some way or be disruptive in some way.
And I think that
or lie or just any number of things that they can do that you've told me.
Yeah.
My mom actually the other day was like, have you thought about teaching? I was like,
I mean, I don't think that I don't think you'd be a bad teacher.
I don't think I'd be a good teacher.
Well, I mean,
I don't think I'd be a bad teacher either. I just don't think I'd be a good teacher.
Well, there's a lot better to be a bad one than a bad one, to be honest, because there's a lot of bad ones. So I think it's like, if you're gonna be one who's just kind of like there, it's better than nothing. But I think that, like, having, especially nowadays, like, there's so many more things to think about, because it's like teaching is so different from when we were younger in a lot of ways. In some ways good, but in some ways a lot more challenging, because you have to deal with new challenges.
Yeah, technology.
Yeah, that, like,
shorter attention spans.
For a long time, teaching didn't really need to change. There wasn't anything like technology in the way that we have it today that would be like impacting kids and or parents. Because I feel like one thing for me is that you notice a lot, like, there's a lot of neglect that happens, and neglect even within people's families where it's not like they're not being fed, it's not like or clothed. There's the parents love them and all that, but like I think that parenting has always been a hard job, right? But I think that especially now, there's so many more things you have to be on top of. And my sister had made a good point because I was talking to her about how frustrated I was that like when we have, our parent teacher conferences, these conferences are over the phone sometimes or video chat, right?
Yeah.
So you don't even have to go anywhere. You just have to pick up your phone, sign into your computer, talk to your students, your child's teacher. And we will maybe have 20% of the parents doing that. And yeah, in some cases, maybe there's a language barrier, but there's systems that we have that will translate. People will translate for you. There might be technology differences, but you're still a phone. Most of the parents, even if they don't have a computer, you have a phone, you can call in. And I was just saying how neglectful I feel like a lot of these parents are. And she made an interesting point that like when we were younger and for a long time before that, you couldn't really see how neglectful a parent could possibly be being because there was no way of actively being there. Like, you couldn't, you didn't have access.
Yeah.
Now we have all this access and you see how there's so much like lackadaisicalness and how and then that goes into the kids, right? Like
it's so much easier now to identify a bad parent.
Yes. And I think that a lot of the parents, it's not even like, okay, they're bad parents as much as they are just not being as present as they need to be, which is neglectful. And there's always going to be neglect. I feel like it'd be difficult for the best parents to not in some ways be neglectful because you're human, right? But noticing how, the fact that kids are not all coming to school, or they're not coming to school on time, right? I could have never been late multiple days out of the month to school. And yes, I went to a private school, so it was different. I had to be on the bus or whatever. But if I had like missed the bus, my mom would have lost her mind. And there were times, like I could think of times in my like elementary school years where maybe I did miss the bus and my mom put me on a train. She was annoyed about it, but it's like, okay, well, you got to go to school. Like you got to be there. And it's like all the things that we're dealing with the kids, like their lack of attention span, the addiction to technology, the apathy to like doing work. Those parents also have that. And it's not just them. Like it's not about a socioeconomic factor. It's not about their nationality, their religion, or any of those things. It is just something that teachers around the world are complaining about. And let's be specific, teachers around America are complaining about. Because there's just been a loss when it comes to there being an emphasis on education and understanding how important education is. So that can be very frustrating. And it's like you're trying to get through your day trying to get through these lessons. You know that someone's going to probably pop in and look at you doing the lesson. And it's always going to be at a time when the kids just are going to be fucking annoying, right? And you have to deal with it. And then, like, for me, one thing I think about a lot is, like, I see the kids behaving in other classes. So what is it that I'm doing or not doing that is causing them to be like defiant, right? And I think part of it is that the classes that I teach are not seen as necessarily important. And they're not necessarily seen as important by the education system, by the parents, by the students. Like they're generally going to be more behaved in science, math, or English, whatever these core subjects, because they're core subjects and they are going to be having to really you don't have to go to summer school if you fail a language, if you fail art or whatever. But even if you fail like social studies at this level, middle school level, you don't have to go to summer school for it. But if you fail one of the cores, you definitely do, right? And I think that there's this lack of interest and curiosity and like just love of learning is very difficult to deal with on a day-to-day. And it's something that like even the teachers who have been teachers for these veteran teachers 15 20 plus years, whatever, they still have difficulty dealing with the kids at times. They still have to be like, really kind of tough and strict about what they're doing, and thankfully they've been teaching for long enough that they know these tricks. And someone who's only been doing it, my work anniversary just came up of a year. I think
I saw that on LinkedIn. I
think I might have started like December 2nd of last year.
Yeah, I think I saw that the other day on LinkedIn.
And so this is my first full year teaching in like a public school system, and that is just a very different and interesting place to be. So yeah, those things are always kind of on the top of my mind because you want to make sure these kids are getting everything they need, especially because the kids that I'm dealing with are from demographics that are marginalized, and you want them to be able to see their talent, to hone their talent, and to be prepared to go into high school, college, trade schools, whatever in the world, not at a disadvantage. But it's hard to even kind of impose or get that point across to them of like, education's important, because without it, you are going to be stuck in a life that you do not want.
Yeah.
Because even with education and degrees and all that, you can have difficulty, especially when you look a certain way, you have a certain gender identity, sexual orientation, religion, et cetera, like if you cannot think for yourself and have opinions and be able to come up with new ideas, etc., you might really be at a disadvantage. So that's kind of where mental health is right now. But it's something like I'm trying to not just get through the day, but also like, what is the word? Not succeed.
Prevail?
Yeah, prevail is a good word. I'm trying to prevail over any of the things that might be struggling with.
Okay.
All right, cool. So that was a good little check-in. We haven't done that in a while. So one thing that I did want to do.
It's been a while since we've checked in with each other. It's mental health.
But one thing that I wanted to do, we actually did it during professional development on Monday, and I thought it was really cool. It was really interesting. So there's two things. So the first one is a social identity wheel, and the next one is a personality compass, right? Here's the wheel, if you can see it.
I didn't realize there were things on the back.
It just describes like what each of the little things are.
Okay, sure.
So in the social identity wheel, it has race, ethnicity, socioeconomic class, age, sexual orientation, biological sex, national origin, religion or spiritual affiliation, physical, emotional, developmental ability, first language, and gender. Okay. And so this wheel was adapted from Marcella Runel, Social Justice Education, from the UMass Amherst and Voices of Discovery, Intergroup Relations Center, Arizona State University. And so in this wheel, it asks you to list the identities you think about the most often with a 1, and list the identities you think about the least with a 2. And then there's a question at the end. So for me, I think that most of I'll just read off the things that I listed as a number 1.
Yeah.
Gender, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic class, sexual orientation, biological sex, and physical, emotional, and developmental ability, and my gender. Did I start off with race?
Did you?
I don't know. Well, and my race.
Say it again. Start with race and then go around.
Okay, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic class, sexual orientation, biological sex, physical, emotional, developmental ability, gender. And for you took the quiz earlier today. Do you want to read what yours were?
Yes. So starting with race, the identities that I think about most about myself are race, ethnicity, socioeconomic class, sexual orientation. Sorry. I'm okay. Let's try this again. I'm the second row.
Yeah.
Race, ethnicity, socioeconomic class, age, physical, emotional, and developmental ability, first language, and gender.
All right. So we had a few of them that more than a few that
several
overlapped.
of them are overlapping.
So there has a question: why do you think more about some of your group identities than others?
How about we both start with each category and go around, starting with race. We both said that we think about that a lot. Yeah.
So let's clump them together in groups. So our race and ethnicity, we said we think about that a lot.
Yes.
So why do you think about your race and ethnicity a lot?
Just because I'm both a black man and an African American. I'm sorry. Just because I'm black and an African American in this world, like I just cannot move through the world. I'm not able to disassociate that part of my identity from anything else, especially in this country.
Yeah.
You know, I can't help it. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like I know that I'm a black man. I know that I'm African American. I had a mental breakdown several years ago because I felt like I wasn't thinking about it enough. I didn't feel like I was black enough, or I didn't feel like I was African American enough. It wasn't top of my mind. And it broke me. So ever since then, I went the other way with it, and now it's all I think about. So you know. So.
I would say similar to that. I feel similar to that. Your ethnicity. I'm trying to remember exactly.
The difference between. I looked this up.
Oh, you did?
Specifically.
Okay. Good.
I specifically looked up the difference between race and ethnicity. And the difference is race is a social construct based on physical character traits like skin color and hair texture, while ethnicity is based on shared cultural factors such as language, tradition, ancestry, and history. That's why when I say race, I say black. And then when I say ethnicity, I say African American.
And how come you don't consider your Bayesianness in that? Because I don't consider myself I mean, obvious. I am.
So for you, you'd be black. For you, you'd be black.
Well, I am
race-wise.
Either
and
way,
then
I'm
also
African American.
You're
either way, it's the same. Because I am African and
I'm
American.
but your African is all bold African. Like it's capital letters. Yeah. African.
Yeah.
Dash American.
No, it's not a slighter. I think about my ethnicity a lot. Well, one, everything you said about the race, true.
Mm-hmm.
I think about my ethnicity a lot, about being a Black American person as well as being a Nigerian American or person, because those two things are they're very important to me.
Sure.
The delineation between the two, because there's two different cultures, there's different traditions, cultures, histories, etc., and also they are intrinsically tied together, right? Because I like to laugh and say I'm probably 75% Nigerian, because I know that even though my mother is Black American, which also we are also have bloodlines and lineages and ancestry that is white American. We also have the bloodline and ancestry that are indigenous American, and possibly Caribbean American, because there's a alleged Turks and Caicos in there. But I think about these so poignantly in my life and how they dictate like who I am as a person, because of the fact that like pause the things about but yeah, because of all of these different things, I think about them so acutely. One, because like I laugh when I say obviously I am African American, but I think that I wish there was something else to describe myself as, so that I don't want either one of my ethnicities to be erased, right? Because I am just as Nigerian as I am Black American, right? And I think that my mother, being a Black American woman, was so proud was very proud of the fact that she was a Black person who descended from people who were stolen from the continent and built this country, and also wanted us to be proud of that, and also wanted us to be proud of the fact that we come from we know where our people are from. In Nigeria, we have a village, a state, a country to call home, and a language and a culture that, even though different, still has a lot of things that overlap, because of the fact that there are, if you did some sort of DNA testing for all the Black Americans and Caribbean Americans and Afro people around the Americas, there's going to be a really good portion of them that are coming from the area that I came from, even if they are not the same tribe and maybe didn't speak necessarily the same languages, but a lot of those cultural things still are there, which is why we have so many similar, dishes and mannerisms and things like that. So I think about that because of the fact that it's something that my mother instilled in us as important, even just as the fact that like I don't have any English names or Christian names, right? Like my mother always said that she named my sister and I what she named us. It wasn't because my father was forcing her or like pushing it or asking for it, because in the time that he grew up, and even still to this day, it is more usual that you are going to meet someone who, depending on their tribe, because I will say Yoruba people are real great at having their Yoruba names, whether it's they all of their names are Yoruba and they maybe have an English name, but they'll go by that name or whatever. But compared to like a lot of the other tribes, like it's just very normal for you to go by your Christian name. And for a long time in Nigeria, even I want to say maybe around the time they were the colonizers were freed from them. They were freed from them in the sense of like no longer being colony of Britain. You couldn't get your birth certificate signed without having a Christian name. I remember even when my sister was being, my mom says like when my sister was being baptized or christened, that she had such an argument with the priest because he wanted her to pick this Anglican or Catholic name. And when she came with a name of like a African saint, he was like, no, that's not, you got to pick another one. And so she named us what she named us because she wanted people to know who we are, where we came from the moment that we walked in the door. Because for her, like many Black Americans across the Western Hemisphere, that's not something that is as readily available, right? So I know those are the reasons why I think about it, and why I try to keep as much culture within me and understanding it and learning it as I can, because I know that it was stolen from us. And so I think it is important to reclaim it as best that I can, even though I know that I'm an Americana, and it's can be seen by, depending on who you're talking to, as not Nigerian enough, which is the same, and also not Black American enough, because I've had people who were Black American tell me that, like, I don't understand the culture. Meanwhile, I grew up in a Black American household. My grandparents come from the South, even though they lived in most majority of their lives in Brooklyn. Like, my aunts worked with the Black Panthers and all these things. There are still people who, because of the Nigerianness, they think that somehow that overshadows all of the things that are about Black American culture. Where I think, like, even if both my parents were Nigerian, if you are raised here in America, it's not to say it is completely impossible that you would have no understanding of Black American culture, because of the fact those are a lot of things that are passed down to you. But I think if you're living here and you're growing up here, you're going to have a lot of those things. Because when I think about my cousins who are Nigerians who came and moved here as children, they have both understandings, even if it might vary a little bit, and there might be things that they prefer on either side. Like, you're still growing up here in the culture, so you're going to get those things. So it always feels like there's a lot of teeter-tottering between both worlds, which is important for me to figure out, like, a way, like, the balance between not thinking one is better or worse than the other. They're just different, and both important. Then we had sociology.
Well, to answer your question, to answer your question that you asked me before, why doesn't my Bayesian side,
because you're equally both the same as me, you're equally both.
Yeah, that just wasn't a component in my household growing up. Like, it neither, because it's on my father's side, but none of the culture was exposed to me, quite frankly, until I got to college. And quite frankly, there's really one person who really exposed it to me, and that's Danny. So shout out to Danny. Didn't really have that aspect of it. You've asked my family. Yeah, I
talked to your dad about that.
You've talked to my dad, and you've talked to, like, my aunt, like, on family game night. You asked my aunt, my two aunts, like, straight up, like, why isn't that a bigger part of your? And it just was not exposed. We were just not exposed to that level of culture in our household. My grandmother and grandfather, they moved from Barbados. I don't remember the year or specifically when, but all of my aunts and uncles were born here in.
But they did
New
go
York.
back and they visited.
Yeah, they went back and visited on cruises and stuff. But, like, it just wasn't. It wasn't taught in their household, and therefore it wasn't taught in my household.
When I asked your dad about that, like, I when we were coming up from Thanksgiving that year. Or coming up from Maryland to go to before we went down to Thanksgiving that year. And I asked him, and I was like, well, when you were growing up, were you taught that, like, you're Bayesian, this you might be here in America, but this is who you are, your culture wise, etc., like music, food, etc. And he was like, no, we just were. There wasn't anything explicitly said or done. Like, obviously there was food things. Like, obviously your aunt is, like, oxtails is a thing that's, like, a thing that she makes on big holidays, and it's, like, an important thing, and that's a big cultural thing. Food usually is the big cultural thing that we can keep even without languages. I mean, Black people across the diaspora have made that very apparent.
But they weren't taught about crop over.
I think also because
or listening to soca,
the fact that, like, when I asked him about, like, music and different traditions, etc., and he was like, well, my dad was a pastor, so there were we were listening to gospel music. We weren't really listening.
It was
to
all
secular,
and even
stuff. It could have possibly been. There might have been some gospel Caribbean music and Asian music, but at the end of the day, it was gospel music. So I think that also impacted how the culture was passed down, because a lot of the things that you keep culturally when you move to another place, it's going to be your food, clothing, like music, things like that, those different traditions. And
I think for my grandparents on this wheel, they would have made religion like their their absolute number one.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something that is just like, difference, but also, you spent your 30th birthday in Barbados.
Yes.
Not on a cruise. You went there, you stayed there for, like a week or so, and you were connecting with a side of yourself that, even if you didn't realize it, that still is like an important thing. Or even if it wasn't like taught to you growing up necessarily, like this should be so important in like culture. But these are things like our cultures are so important because of the fact that they have been kept from us and stolen, and we are reclaiming them in different ways. So I think it's just interesting how those things weave themselves in and out of our lives. Because I know that I'm very proud to be both American and Nigerian. I definitely know that I'm a lot more American than I am Nigerian in a lot of ways. But I also appreciate a lot of the Nigerian things. And I wish that I could bring those things more so into our general American culture. But also, funny enough, I think that when I think about my grandparents on both sides, they were way more, their cultural beliefs were way more connected at that time than I would say culturally things in the Black diaspora are now. Because one of the things my mom, always used to say is like when she first took my dad down to Spartanburg to meet the family and all that, he was just like, wow, it's just like being in the village. Like there's a lot of similarities. Like family is very important. These cultural traditions are very important. Like everyone knows each other. They talk community. And I think those are things, because as time goes on and we've become more and more Americanized, we've lost. And then within the Black community, and we've had forced separations, etc., that have not allowed those things that were so intrinsic to our people have changed. But also, I think that the pendulum's been swinging back again, because we know that so many more people are trying to reconnect all those different, dots, I should say. So associated economic class, both of us did one. I think that is just like, we live in America, so you can't
capitalism city. So
of money and your class, money, and how that impacts money. Another thing that we had the same, which I think would make sense.
Well, I think it would be interesting to talk about the things that we had. Do you want to talk about the things we had the same and then talk about the things we had different? Okay, we gotta be mindful of the time. Okay. But so what else did we have in the same?
Emotional, developmental ability. I understand that's what was one for both of us, because
on this podcast, mental health is important.
Yeah, and we know that we have different struggles and things with our mental health. We are very aware of our mental health and all the other things, our emotional and physical development, like all those things, every piece of the way that those things have impacted our life. Very important. Gender, I did number one, of course, because I'm a woman. I cannot.
Wait, no, hold on. Because another similarity is our.
But that's number two.
I know, but it's the same.
First. Yeah, I know, but I was going to do the ones first, and then I'm gonna go do the twos.
But we did the one. We've already did all the similar ones.
We did not. We didn't do gender, which is what I was doing.
That was the last one. Sorry, I missed that. I missed that one. All right, sorry, my bad.
So gender, I put one because I'm a woman, and as a woman, I am a marginalized class people. And as a Black woman, that adds a dollop on there of things that are both great, amazing, and honorary. Honorous, is that a word? Amazing, great things, but then there's also some terrible things that are really frustrating and annoying. And I think about often if my gender was different, and also if my race was different, how much more safer I would be in this world.
Yeah.
But I am curious as to why you put that as number one too, because I wouldn't have thought that your gender would be something you because I put number one for my biological sex and my gender because they are the same things for me personally.
Yeah.
You put gender as number one, but your biological sex is number two. So I'm curious as what the difference was for you.
For me, the reason why I put my gender as number one is because, like, I as I said earlier in this podcast, I identify as a man, male. I, in the last, let's say, decade, have recognized the atrocities that men have committed onto the world. And I just so happen to live in a world where that is brought up a lot. It is not something that I can readily or not that I would want to ignore, but that is something, it just not something that falls in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? Like, whether it be the fact that the majority of all of my friends are against patriarchy or feminists or just mad aware of the state of the world that we live in and the history of the world that we reside in and that has happened in the world. It has had an effect on me to the point where I'm just very aware of myself and my skin and my penis. You know, I just know, I can't help but just be aware of being like, I'm a guy, and because I'm a guy, that's why I have to put the non-threatening hands up to say, like, hey, like, I'm not coming at you with an assault of any kind. Like, I am not necessarily one of the good ones, but I'm not a threatening one, to say the least. I'm not threatening you in any way just because of my gender.
Yeah.
Now, because it does differ from my biological sex, mainly because, like, I know the difference between gender and biological sex is
your expression, your gender expression, and your biological sex, because, like, you could be born, whatever, male or female, but you can express yourself as either one. It's not something that is what is it called? It's fluid. Gender is fluid. Biological sex.
I think I might have did that backwards then. I think maybe biological sex is no. I don't think about the
being born a man.
Yeah, I just don't think about it. Like, who cares what I was born as? How I identify myself is important.
Now you like that because of how you move through the world.
It's just because of how I move through the world. Yes.
So that makes sense. Yeah. All right, now let's go to some ones we had different. Now, for first language, I had that as least something I think about least. You had it as something you think about most or most often. Why is that?
Mainly because I live in New York City, and this is a melting pot, a bouillabaisse of multi different languages. Also, because I've been applying to a lot of companies where they ask you what languages you know, or is English your first language, and if so, what is your level of proficiency with that? Like, and I have to say native. But when I wake up in the morning, like I just acknowledge that I'm an English speaking person, because a lot of different languages have different ideological thoughts.
Yeah, for sure.
The fact that the fact that certain phrases in English cannot be found in certain other languages.
Yeah.
Or do not easily translate means that those concepts don't easily translate.
Which is why when you think about like the colonization of the world, one of the shitty things about it is the fact that we have lost so much cultural diversity because, just thinking about being a Black American person, we have lost our languages, even though, funny enough and interesting enough and cool enough, there are ways in which like AAVE, even though they try to label it as just like a slang, the way that we speak grammatically within that is very close.
African American Vernacular English?
Yeah.
Ooh. I didn't even know that's what it was called, but I got all of the letters.
Look at you using deductive reasoning.
Context clues. Yes, context clues primarily.
But I think that I've learned over the years that the way that we speak, even saying something like, I be watching TV, right? And technically in American English, that is not grammatically correct.
No, it is not. But
the way our language adapted from our various tribal languages, if you go back to some of those tribal languages, they have the same intonations, or the way that we might repeat words say them more than once in a sentence or a phrase are similar to ways that we speak in original tribal languages. And to me, I think that's really cool.
Then that begs the question, it's not so much why isn't my number one, why is first language your number two?
I think that because it's just a privilege to speak English, right? Because we're living in America.
Is it a privilege?
It's not. Well, okay.
Because for you as somebody who is both Nigerian and African American, you constantly bring up the fact that, well, not constantly, not enough to do a shot game on this podcast, but at least
bring up a lot
behind the scenes,
do not speak
you have conveyed to me that you wish that you spoke Igbo.
Yes. And I do. And I that is something that is very sad to me that I do not, and frustrating that I do not. But I think that being in America, the same way, like being a man, I would say the average man, right? Or the average white person does not wake up thinking about those things because they are living in the space of privilege. And even if they walk out of America, they will still have that privilege because it's the privilege they have around the world. When I go around the world, majority of the places I've ever been, I have still been able to speak English. Now, I also have the added bonus of like, I studied Spanish, so I could go places and I speak that, right? But that is something that like I only do if I have to, because even in times where like when I was in Madrid, and maybe I might have had difficulty remembering what a word is or how to say a word or whatever the case may be, people are still speaking to me in English, right?
Sure.
So I think it's the privilege of having that language, because it's privilege within our society, a global society's language economy. It is something that you're going to be able to find, right? There's few like those few European languages, French definitely being one of them. I would say probably Spanish, because that's one of the second largest languages that's spoken around the world, where it's like, if you speak one of these languages, you're going to be good, right? And so I just think like even being in New York, it's one of those things where like I do wish I had more languages to speak and know of, and I find so many languages are so interesting, and I would love to be able to have some sort of like universal translator, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah,
because it would be really cool. And because so many things are lost in translation. But it's just not something that I'm like thinking about. But you also, watch a lot of anime and you
Yes, I do.
mangas.
Yes, I do.
And even when I'm watching it with you, like if we watch One Piece and when it's translated, the one thing I always get annoyed about is like we're watching it, the translation or the sub is different than the dub.
Yes, because they're
annoying.
translating the Japanese into English. They're translating the Japanese into English in the sub, whereas they're localizing what the Japanese means into English language in the dub.
Yeah.
And also trying to match the mouth flaps.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Now, something that we put as a 2, that 2 things we put as a 2 that were both the same were religion and spiritual affiliation and national origin. Now, why do you think for you those are 2 things that you think about the least?
I don't think. I mean, all right. National origin. I'll speak to that first. I understand the appeal. I understand the appeal of it, but I have never chanted USA at anything.
Yeah.
Because it's just the place that I live. That is all it is. It for all of its good and bad, for all of its turmoil, and this is America.
Yeah.
Like there's enough equal good and bad parts that are both extreme for me to say that they both balance out and wash out. And I just don't think about it that way. I just don't think about it now. And then as far as religion, it's mainly because I'm just more spiritual.
Well, it says spiritual or religious affiliation.
Yeah, when I say I'm more spiritual than religious, I also mean that I think about spirituality and religion the exact same amount, which is not that much. Just not that much. I just don't. The only time religion or spirituality comes up is when food is around, and that's because you pray. So, and more times than not, you're saying the prayer, and I'm just doing the ritual. I am doing the actual ritual that I grew up with of bowing my head, closing my eyes, then saying amen. And that's basically it.
So do you not feel like we've talked about spirituality a bunch before offline. So do you not feel any kind of connection to any, like to spirit itself, like to the ancestors or any of those things, like just in your general day?
I feel a connection when how do I say this? I gotta say this particularly well because there's a level of nuance to it. I don't feel it. How do I say this? It's like air to me. I don't really notice it until it's windy. Meaning, yeah, I do not. It's just a thing that exists within my life. But when something happens, that's when it becomes prevalent to me.
Okay. I would say for me, religious or spiritual affiliation, I think about it secondary. I would say
that's surprising to me a little bit. I would have thought that would have been a 1 for you.
Well,
because you're always talking. Let me be respectful. You mention spirits and spirituality and the ancestors enough for me to think that it would be something that you would have caught. It seems like a large part of your, not maybe large, maybe I would say 35% of your identity.
Well, I would say that
the ancestors.
I do think
you have an altar.
It's a large part of my identity, but I think in some way
you used to leave food out.
Yeah, I didn't get my own job on that. But yes. I think that similarly, but in a different vein, I guess, the way that you talk about it being like air to you is similar to me. Like, I don't think about it because it is spirituality, whether I'm talking to God or the ancestors or the Mother Earth and all that. It is just a part of me. So I'm not ever thinking about it, right? And then on the secondary portion of it, I also, again, same way with English, like I am a living in a privileged space of, like, I'm christened Catholic. That is Christianity, Catholicism, Christianity are what I grew up in, right? So all of the things in this country are based on Christian beliefs. So I don't ever, as much as I believe in things that are in some ways instances different, I also know how connected they all are because of the fact that, like, going to private school, having grandparents who were very religious, and also, great grandparents who were pastors and things like that, like, understanding how interconnected all the religions are, and me seeing them not just as separate identities, but then also lobbing on the fact that I'm from the majority here. So I don't have to think about it, because even if there may be other ways that I might be practicing that are different, if I'm talking about like ancestral religions, right? That's something that I'm still learning so much about, even though it's been years. It's still something I'm learning. So I don't feel like if I'm looking around and like where people are praying, I'm not confused about what's happening, right? I'm just like, oh, this is what we're doing, and here we go. So it's kind of just like a second nature. So it's not something, whereas if I was Muslim or Buddhist or Taoist or baptized and christened in a ancestral religion, and that was the only thing I'd ever known, and then I came here, then perhaps that would be something I was thinking of more, because I would have to like find more ways of like going around. But then also I think because of the fact that I am the spirituality and religion that I am practicing, I have built such a community of people around me that are connected to those things, that I'm also not like feeling like there's a dearth. Is it, am I use that right? Like a dearth of
you feel like there isn't a dearth?
There isn't.
Because dearth is
negative, is like a negative space. Right?
Is dearth negative? I thought dearth was majority.
Scarce supply or lack.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So I don't feel scarce in that space. So I guess that's probably why I'm not thinking about it as much. All
gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad that go do this wheel.
Two more. There's two more.
Oh, the other ones that we had different.
Age and sexuality.
Age, I put age as number 2. You put age as number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual orientation, I put that as number 1. You put that as number 2.
Yes.
So we were flipped.
Yes.
Why did you put age as number 1?
Because I feel like I move through the world feeling old. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it with it, like, great. Hooray, I'm young for my age, but also like I took on my dad's personality and thinking that I wasn't gonna live past a certain age, despite the fact that I grew up in fucking private schools and shit like that. So there was no way that I would be killed over crack vials in Baltimore or shot in gangs and shit. But I took on that personality. So now after 21, I feel all of my age and I feel it as if I'm older than I actually am. And everything feels worse now that I'm in my mid 30s and I'm not even smack dab. I'm over the hill in my mid 30s. Next year, I'll be in my late 30s.
I understand that.
And I feel my age. I feel my knees like kind of fucking the cartilage in my knees like turning into peanut brittle.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the various lack of jiggle in my penis, like for erections and shit. Like I feel my age.
Mm-hmm.
I told you my dad gave me the juicer so that I could drink more lemon and watermelon, which apparently was good for sexual prowess.
Oh, well, the healthier you are, the better you are at sex. So
Great.
it does help.
Thanks, Dad.
Look, shout out to him for finding things that are work. Because think about your dad's older. He's much older. He's double our age, but he also
Gets it in. Yes.
Well, not that, but more so he has, even in his as being like a mature person, is still.
Did you say mature or much whore?
Mature.
Oh, okay.
Still finding his ability to like tap into his youth and youthfulness. I would say for me, that is why I don't think about my age as like, I think about it in certain ways of like, yes, I'm getting older. So like more about like the things that I want to do and the time that I have to do them and that I would like to have to do them and all that. But I also think that like one thing that I grew up with, just thinking like growing up with my Nana, she was like, she passed away when she was 77, but she always was very youthful, right? Like she never wanted to go to the senior citizens home to like visit, like not to go live, but like she didn't want to go there.
That reminds me, I meant to ask you, do they do sprays at funerals?
Yeah. And after, when you are celebrating the person who passed away, celebration of life and the party.
For real?
Yes. You spray everything. Imagine anytime there's going to be a party, it's going to be sprayed.
Okay, but I
just wouldn't think have enough time.
I know. Sorry. Continue. We don't have enough time. Continue.
Like when I think about my age, I think about it as in time and not so much my body, because I think about like how the people in my family, both here and abroad, like in both sides of my parents, have kept their youth in various ways, like movement, travel, being open-minded, doing different things, not allowing different parts of themselves to atrophy, whether physically, mentally, emotionally. And that is why I just don't think about it, because I'm just trying to make sure that I am still feeling like myself and not feeling like, oh, I'm this age, so I just have to sit here and, be under a blanket and not do anything because I'm this age. Because at the end of the day, there are people who are 80 years old who are becoming bodybuilders for the first time, right? Like whatever your age is, just a number. Your body obviously is going to have signs of aging, but just because we are aging doesn't mean we have to be aged.
Sure.
Like you are older, but you don't have to be old. And there are no people who are old and they're very young, because they have the pieces about you, like youth is like, you're curious, you're open, you're interested, like you are having that childlike wonder. And I think that by holding on to that and nurturing it and not letting it seep out of you, it helps. My sexual orientation, I think about that, like being queer, and in a heteronormative relationship is interesting. Why'd you squish your face up like that?
I mean, are we?
Are we in a heteronormative relationship? Yes, because we're heterosexual. And we're in a heterosexual relationship. That is heteronormative.
Okay, sure.
So if you were in a,
all right,
you got to be in a same-sex relationship to be in a homosexual one, or if a queer one, if one of us was trans or non-binary or something like that, but that is not the case.
Okay.
So, and I think also, again, I think in that instance is where, when you talk about how you think about your manness in like the privileges that come with that, I think about my apparent straightness and the privileges that come with that. Because it's somehow, some way throughout the day is going to be, made apparent to me.
I don't think about it at all. I've been through my sexual orientation awakening. I expressed that. I made jokes about it. I told my family about it. People know it is what it is. And then I moved away from it. Like, not moved away from it. I just made it so much a part of who I am as a person that it's just second nature. It's air. It's air.
Yeah. All right.
All of the number ones are just air.
Well, very cool. So
maybe that should be the title. It's air. It's
everybody,
either it's air or I could see that.
Go look at the social identity wheel. Check it out. It has lots of information. You can go find it. The second one that I want to talk about is the personality compass.
Pause.
All right. So now we're going to talk about the personality compass. So the personality compass, a new way to understand people. This is what this is adapted from. It was created by Diane Turner and Thelma Greco in 1998. They have a website you can go to do this yourself. I think you should. Let us know what you got. Understanding the 4 compass personality types, a new way to understand people. So we have there is the, oh, come on.
North.
Yeah,
West,
but it won't. Okay,
East and
here.
South. Yeah.
North. Let's do it. Action now. Like, that's mostly the north part. East. Who, what, when, where, why, structure and detail first. South. Share, support the carers. West. Imagine, generate the vision, meaning the big picture. So on the paper, some ways that they describe North: natural leader, goal-oriented, fast-paced, task-oriented, assertive, decisive, confident, determined, competitive, independent. East: natural planner, quality-centered, analytical, organized, logical, focused, exact, perfectionist, industrious, structured. South: natural team player, process-centered, slow-paced, good listener, non-confrontational, sensitive, patient, understanding, generous, helpful. West: natural risk taker, idea-centered, creative, innovative, flexible, visionary, spontaneous, enthusiastic, free-spirited. So you answer like all these questions, right? And then you tally them up. Real quick, tell me, before you tell me what your thing was, tell me what did you get for the total number of North?
11.
What did you get for the total? Oh, I got 13. What about for South?
13.
I got 11. What about for East?
For East, 11.
I got 3. What about for South? Or sorry, West?
13.
21 for me. So I am you go with your highest first. My highest was 21. That's West. My second highest was North. So I am a West North. West North is categorized as flexible, creative, assertive, decisive, fast-paced. And what was yours?
So because I had 2 13s, I just put down West, South, or Southwest.
West. Wait, I'm sorry. So what was your largest number?
My largest number is 13.
That's West, and what else?
No, that's also South.
I'm asking you what it was besides West.
Besides West is South.
So you have South and West as your number 1.
It's yes. South and West for number 1?
Jesus Christ. I'm asking you, which one did you have the most of?
I had it for South and West.
Thank you. What was your second highest number?
11. For North and East.
You had 11 for North and East?
Yeah.
So all of them you were split down the middle?
No. I had to take this over again. Sorry. I had to take it over again because I initially had 12 for North and South.
You had 12 each?
Yeah, 12 each for it was mad equal. It was
But
straight down the middle.
12?
Because of 24 questions.
So then why did you take it again? Why didn't you just leave it?
Because it was equal.
So? If that's what it was, that's what it was. So what's the highest number you got for that? 12?
For both north and south, it was 12.
And it looks like west was your so west is your highest number.
West is my highest number.
So west and then northwest, north south. We'll give you just take both. So
it's west, north, south?
Yeah, it's the same. Just we'll go with that. So for me, on my little compass, west north is described as flexible, creative, assertive, decisive, fast-paced, right? And what was your original top one?
West.
So yours is west, and what's the second? West, south, and west. What else?
And then the second one, my second highest is north south.
Just let me see, because I'm going.
Because you just said
okay, well you have east here.
I thought because I thought it was
let me just look at it. So this is okay. So your highest is west.
Yes.
Here you are both 12.
Yes, and then my lowest.
So west
is
south
east.
And west north. Okay,
yeah.
Great. So let me look at those west south. West south, flexible, creative, friendly, caring, cooperative, and west north is mine because you said yeah. All right, so the same thing as me. So let's look at some jobs that are good for west north. So this is about your career in the 4 personality directions. West north jobs that are good for those people: project coordinator because you're juggling many tasks, leader, advertiser because you're innovative and competitive, developer, visionary and self-starting, performer, multi-talented, confident, builder, dreamer and goal-centered. And then your second one was west south. Writer because free thinking and sensitive, storyboarder, idea-centered communicator, liaison officer, flexible and helpful, artist, creative and introspective, landscaper, sees options, and people pleaser. And then if you go on the back, it gives some similarities and the 4 personality directions. So for north and west, move fast, talkative, enjoy action, welcome change, bold, take risks. And for south and west, motivate others, sociable, shun deadlines, adaptable, avoid pressure, enjoy relaxation. And then just like kind of like at a glance, it has for north personality traits, the motto: get the job done fast, strength, making quick decisions, basic weakness, impatience, fundamental aptitude, leadership, priority, goals, motivation, competition, pet peeve, indecision, work style, independent, main work competency, supervisory, pace, fast and determined, image, achievement. For west, expand all horizons, strength, well, your mottos: expand all horizons, great strength, innovative creativity, weakness, disorganization, fundamental aptitude, seeing the big picture, priority, methods, motivation, freedom, pet peeve, rules, work style, adaptable, work competency, coordinating many tasks, pace, fast and flexible, image, originality. And the other one you had was south?
And north and south.
Yes. South motto: build the best team, strength, cooperation, weakness, non-assertiveness, fundamental aptitude, peacemaking, priority, values, motivation, helping, pet peeve, conflict, work style, group, competency, team building, pace, slow and laid back, image, compassion. So when you think from doing all these, reading all these, how do you feel like that connects with who you think you are? And how do you think this connects with how you see me? Just in general, not just the work stuff. It could be just in general, personality-wise.
What were you again? I'm
West North.
You're West North. You're West North.
Yeah. I had way more West than anything. And then second was North.
West North makes a lot of sense. You were project coordinator, right?
Yeah, I have been a project coordinator. I've worked in advertising.
Yeah.
And I've been a performer.
Yes. So that makes sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like from you.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it made more sense when I was both Southwest and West South. But Northwest, but if it's West North
and West South. So you're like
West North, and if I'm a mix of West North and West South, West North doesn't make that much sense to me. Except for the fact that I was a performer.
Well,
West South makes sense because I was a writer.
I think
and an artist.
When I think about you, that I would say
the reason
West South makes more sense to me for you, but I also see a lot of things in North in you as well. Because I think you are a natural leader, goal centered, fast paced, you're task oriented. You are decisive, confident, determined. You're definitely very competitive and independent.
Sure. Okay.
You're kind of, I feel like you're all these things, but I do see you more sometimes in the South region.
Yeah.
In some of those, like, yeah, I think like both of these make sense, but I guess maybe it's like sometimes it depends on the situation.
For you, you're in the West primarily.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You are disorganized. I don't mean it as a diss. I just mean that's the first thing that popped out to me as soon as you said that. As soon whatever. And you're adaptable. And you're all about freedom.
Yeah. So I feel like
you're fast and flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Originality. Coordinating many tasks. Rules doesn't make any sense because you don't like rules.
Well, here's the thing. I like rules, but I want them to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like not being able to change a rule to make it make sense in a situation. I feel like rules are good because I do like structure in things and having a clear, like, this is what we should be doing. And I understand why rules are important, right? However, I also feel like there's a lot of times when rules can, like, they can change up a bit. But I thought this was really cool. Go on the website, folks. Do it. See what your compass is. It's a real cool thing. It's like you can look at how this has some of the enneagrams and I don't know how to say it. The enneagram types.
You mean anagrams?
Anagram. Thank you. They have the MBTI personality types, your temperaments, all these different things. And on the website, you don't have to do it on paper. They have just cool little thing here. Go through it, see what it says.
See what it do.
And tell us what it says for you. And I think these are good things to think about. Both, we did this at work, obviously, because we're thinking about team building, but think about it, how it works for you in your real life and how you can work, how these traits go through not just work, but also your relationships in any type of dynamic you're in. Well, that's all for us this week. Thank you for watching, listening, and sharing and commenting and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We will see you next week. Have a great rest of your week. Get some rest, drink water, take your meds, all the good stuff. And that's everything. That's everything. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's ThatSOD, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy Podcast, where it's nerds of a feather rock together.
Remember,
Bye.
boy.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.